say.
Hear you say.
Blue Jays, let's go all the way. What's up, big guy?
All the way. I wonder if I should do the high parts and you should do the low parts. Like, are you more of a bass?
Blue Jays, let's go all the way.
All the way. We're both bass. If we're gonna go high, we're not gonna go falsetto.
There's not gonna be a lot of falsetto rocking out here.
Happy Blue Jays.
Happy Friday, man. Welcome to the second edition of Drew Jays Talk 2024. I am Drew Dudley. With me, as always, is Andrew Sorley, and it is Drew Jays Talk, my good man. The first week is here, and I think if we're going to go with what everyone has to say in the fandom and the media, we should immediately quit on this season. It is over. It's whatever happened in the first week is exactly what's going to happen all season. And man, like I think that I'm starting to realize that this show is needed more than ever this year, because I am not used to this much negativity in 1 week. I don't know what you've noticed, man.
True. The world is a negative place, and people are so quick to become negative on just about anything. You know, it's funny. There was a real-time earthquake about 2 hours ago in New York City area.
Yeah, my girlfriend's there.
And your girlfriend's there.
Nice note, to tell me that no, it's panic.
I was gonna say, is she shaken up? Earthquake joke. So many people are so quick to just complain about, and it's almost predictable, right? It's predictable how people complain. I actually made a small little comment on a Sportsnet Instagram post. JD Bunkus had said, this isn't a cynical sports town, and I was like, no, JD, this is a cynical
sports town.
This is the most cynical sports town I think I've ever come across. Cynical because they don't dive in. They don't learn about what they're watching. They just read the headlines and pretend the world's on fire. Drew, our show was designed to be positive because we're both positive fellows, and we both
you're
look
a
at the world.
Positive fellow. I'm just bullish on the Blue Jays.
Those are both good things.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be happy about with our Blue Jays this week. The truth is in just a couple of days we got home opener. We had a top of the ninth, which is not bottom of the ninth. I actually think I texted you saying it's bottom of the ninth, but then I forgot they were on the road. We had a top of the ninth home run from the wonderkind Davis Schneider.
I like that you've seen Ted Lasso, and so you know that it's Wonderkind.
Yes, exactly. Listen, we had some great pitching performances. We had some good pitching performances. There's a lot to be happy about. But we also got no hit. So talk to me about the week. What did you see this week?
You know what, man? I look at it this way. 3 and 4, I believe, is where we are coming into the weekend with New York. Start the season off 10 games on the road. You've got the Rays, you've got the Astros, you've got the Yankees. Rays and Astros, established good teams. And the Rays, first of all, the Rays have got four starters on the injured list, and still everybody who pitched for them was dynamite. And obviously the hitting always comes around slower. But I look at it this way: 10 games on the road, 2 teams that are playoff teams, 1 team that has improved over. I don't think they're going to actually be all that great, but they have a lineup, that's for sure. And so you come out of this thing 5-5. I heard them talking about it early on in one of the broadcasts, like 5-5, and someone's like, no, it's got to be 6-4, it's got to be 7-3. Those 3 teams, 10 games on the road, we come out of this 5-5. We come out of this 4-6. Honestly, I think that's okay. We got to look at that instead of. I recognize why there's panic over how they lost. But ultimately, why are we going to assume that just because in the early part of the season the team looks like this is what the team is? It's 1 week in, simmer down. But to answer your question about what I liked, I thought the pitching was really solid. I thought even the home runs that were given up were often given up on good pitches. I didn't think that our buddy, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on our 5th starter's name right now. I had it right in front of me. Sorry, everybody. I am a Blue Jays fan.
Just why you're blanking. Just frick. Why can't we think about it? He's got the shoes.
He's got the curveball.
Come on.
Anyway,
come on. Well, I'll
he gave up a few.
Francis, Bowden Francis.
Francis. That's it. I knew it. I'm sorry, everybody. I did not look like a Jay fan right there, but honestly, yeah. I mean, he missed on a couple of pitches, but he seems to be, really sort of mentally in a good place. And I think that the competition between him and Manoah is going to be good for the team as well, because apparently Manoah looked pretty good where he was, even though he's going to be a little bit behind. Gosman did not look bad at all. And I'm excited about, that's just on the pitching side. I'm excited about Ernie Clement. I'm excited about Isainer kind of Falefa and how it looks. Like, everyone kind of overlooked that he's a Gold Glover. It's 4 years ago, but lots to like, man.
Look, on Sunday, March 31st, getaway day in Tampa, Jays won 9-2, and then they go over to Houston. Of course, we lose 10-0, and that's the day we get no hit. Baseball swings. There's backs and forths. I don't think the Tampa fans, after a Sunday loss, are saying, we need to blow this whole thing up. No, that assumes there's Tampa fans, first of all, which we can't always assume true.
It was pretty sad, man, to the opening weekend to see what we saw there. But also Houston came in like not looking good either, right? So I mean, and that's a very good baseball team.
You're exactly right. And listen, it's April, it's March, it's April. The truth is, I was in Tampa. I mentioned this to you, and had lunch with a good friend of mine who's a resident of Tampa. He was just telling me, and he's a relative baseball fan. I wouldn't say he's as dedicated as you and I are, but he's a relative baseball fan. He was telling me how difficult it is when you live in Tampa Bay to get to St. Petersburg. It's not an easy commute to get there. Once you do get there, you're sitting in traffic. So, they've got a lot of logistics to work out there in Tampa and St. Pete. But yeah, it's the first week of the year. Baseball's a long season. You're not going to see sellouts in every stadium every night. That's just a fact of life, I think. We did see some interesting stuff. Seeing a no-hitter is always fun. I saw Justin Verlander's second Blue Jays no-hitter in person.
Oh, wow.
One of my friends, Paul, took me to that game. He's not a very big baseball fan, but he just knew I liked baseball, so we went together. And, the Jays got no hit, and I told him, Paul, this is a Hall of Fame pitcher that we're seeing in real life right now. We're on the losing end of this, but this is still pretty cool for baseball.
I almost like that it was 10-0, man. I thought that it was I liked that it was 10-0 in some ways, because then I could, I'll admit it, I could root for the no hitter. If it's 2-1, if it's 1-0, 2-0, you're wanting the Jays to break up that no hitter. But once it hit 10-0, I got to admit, I was sort of being like, this would be really cool to see. The pitcher wasn't overpowering, but you know what? He was throwing good stuff on the corners. There was nothing to hit. I was impressed by the performance. I know that the Jays got lit up. I know that Francis was getting, taken deep, but again, that was home runs. And a bunch of the stuff was off the end of the bat, right? And then you get a couple of guys on with bloop hits in front of guys that aren't very hard hit. And then it's Houston, right? You can light it up and the game gets out of hand in a hurry. It was very cool to see a no-hitter. I've never seen one live. I've only ever seen two of them on TV. And the first one was actually Nolan Ryan's no-hitter against the Jays. I think it was his seventh, right? So that was pretty cool, because now, again, you're watching this legend. But I don't know, man. It was nice. It was kind of nice to root for it and feel like not super guilty, because the Jays were obviously out of that one. And so, I really enjoyed having the chance to celebrate. And now I thought there was a giant comeback coming, because I watched the game on record, on pre-recorded, and you were texting me from early on. I was out, and you were just like, "Are you at the eighth inning yet? Are you at the eighth inning?"
I knew,
and I figured it was a huge comeback.
I knew you were delayed. Yeah, I knew you're delayed, and I think I'm honest. I was trying to mess with you a little bit.
It was not cool, because you're like, the eighth and ninth are totally worth it. And I'm like, oh wow. And then it was 8-0, and then it was 10-0, and I'm like, if this actually is a comeback, happen? Yeah. And then I looked at the video, and it was only halfway through. I'm like, oh my God, there's another 2 hours of this game. But it was just, the post game macabre darkness that is the post game show after after every game now, it's just like we're 6-7 games in, and people have got their heads banging off their desk, being like, the only guy like is Siddle being like, there's no changes to be made. It's the first week.
Yeah. Listen, actual tip of the cap to the pitcher there. I already forgot his name. See, that's what. Yeah, it's a no hitter, but it's like whatever. Do you remember his name? The guy who hit us?
I don't even know. I feel terrible, my friend. Look, I'm having enough trouble remembering the Jays' names earlier in the season.
I know. Jeez. We're getting old. Blanco. Anyway, so Drew.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you this week, and I was thinking, number one, I love doing these talks. Home opener. Are you excited?
I am excited, man. I wish that people were more excited. Like, I really am down on how negative, like, home opener is usually a time of great excitement. I do think that this weekend is going to play a massive role in how people perceive the Jays. If they come out, if they play well, whether they win or lose, if they score 4 or 5 runs a game, I think that we're going to see a little more excitement for the home opener. I think that if they drop all 3, we're going to see like the end of the world, and we'll probably see a good crowd for the home opener and then a pretty quick drop off. I don't love how it seems that people are throwing in the towel pretty early, and I'm excited to know that the game is long. But I am extremely excited. I'm really excited to get feedback from people who have seen the new stadium in person. Like, one thing I've noticed is that the ball does go down in the corner now, and it's kind of hard to see when you're watching on broadcast sometimes. But apparently it's going to be so much better for the people who are actually in the stadium. I love some of the new graphic looks, the new scoreboards that are on those little like turrets out in right center field. I think that looks pretty cool. I'm excited for the home opener because I think the Jays are going to play well in New York this weekend. I really do. I think that Yankee Stadium is a different animal, and I think that I really do believe that they're going to go in there and make a statement. I think they're going to win 2 out of 3, and I think they're going to play well for all 3 games. And I still don't know what Kikuchi is, but Gausman looked awfully good. And I'm not sort of out the window on Bowden Francis yet. I'm very interested to see how he's going to perform in New York City on a Sunday afternoon, though.
Well, and I think we've got I'm just looking at the weather because I'm just curious. But I think we've got.
Like, is the stadium still okay? Like,
I'm sure it is. It's 8 degrees in New York today, so it's going to be a cool day for baseball. Going to be 9 or 10 by the time they start playing. That's chilly. That's chilly for baseball, but it's a nice day. Outdoor games, right? You never know if there's going to be weather or rain delays or whatever. But no, I'm pumped. Going back to the home opener, Emily and I are going to go. We got tickets from SeatGeek. They should sponsor us. We should try and figure out how to get. I've been telling people about SeatGeek. We're not sponsored, Drew, but it's actually a really great app to use. Really cool.
I really love it, and honestly, as much as we crap on the secondary market apps, and really it's Ticketmaster, honestly, I use them all the time, and I've never had a problem. Like, yeah. I do have to give the customer service. I know we're not sponsored, but in all the ones I've used, anytime there's been a problem, it's been fixed. So, but I know that the evil empire owns a couple of them, right?
Well, I don't even know who owns SeatGeek, but just the experience of using it, it's really simple to search for tickets. It sounds like an ad, it really isn't. But so we bought tickets 2 nights ago, and we're gonna sit. I decided because you could sit in the 500 still. There's still tickets for 50 some odd bucks. We bought tickets that are about 100, but they're in the 100 level, and I chose that because 2 things. First of all the seats in the 500 and the 100 level are brand new. So they're all new seats. I think that's pretty cool. So Emily and I are going to go to the stadium, and we're going to be the first people to sit in these 2 seats. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. That actually really is cool.
And these particular seats did not exist. Yeah, these are new construction. So these seats did not exist previously.
Where are you at? Are you down the lines? Or are you behind home plate?
We're right down the lines. Yeah, we're right at almost at the foul pole, in foul territory. But there's this new little triangle, which I'm super excited to see how it plays. You used to be able to, as a fan, before the netting went up, you used to be able to like get your arm right in there in the corners. Now they go up sort of a triangle, a wedge. You'll see pictures, I'm sure, if you look it up. So we'll be actually elevated. I think we're going to be 12, 14 feet off of the what I'll call the level field, but we're also right on the edge too. So it'd be interesting to see. I believe where we're sitting, there's no netting. I think the net stops a few sections in front of us. So yeah, I'm thrilled. And we're also right next door to the Schneider's hot dog porch. So
there you go.
don't
Isn't
have to walk
Tuesday
as far
hot dog
through.
Looney Tuesday?
Yeah, well, we're going Monday night, but Tuesday will be Looney hot dog night.
I might have to check out Tuesday then if that's how it unfolds. Hey, look, man, I'm psyched for you. I think it's great, and you know what I think is also something to look at positively is that the Jays keeps they have this core that can improve. They've got Kirky, they've got Vladdy, they've got Bo, and so that's part of the core. Jansen, I think, is a better player than he gets credit for. But what's interesting is the talk all offseason was that the Jays have not done enough in the offseason. And honestly, looking at the team now and looking at the batting order, I'm like, oh, they're kind of right. Like we got Clement and Schneider in the same batting with Kiermaier at the bottom. Like that's not ideal now that I see it, but it's the new guys that actually did perform a little bit. Like we're talking about, they didn't do enough, but Justin Turner is the only guy who looks like he's consistently hitting up there. He looks like he is still the guy that we thought we got with an 800 OPS. Clement is playing very well defensively, although the Jays have had some adventures defensively. And Alexander Falefa, I think, has been making like nice waves as well. Obviously, Snyder hit the home run, which was sort of a one-off thing, but the new guys are the ones who sort of brought us whatever joy we had over the course of the first week, don't you think?
I do, and it's funny. So our mutual friend Chris Cummins, his young son Charlie, we're gonna have him as a guest on Drew Jay's Talk. Charlie is a rabid baseball fan, and I just think the kid's great. He is an encyclopedia, and he sent me a couple texts this week saying, "Hey, Clement has filled Bo Bichette's defensive shoes here. Bo Bichette missed a couple games. We're not sure if he hurt his neck in that little brief little melee that happened with Genesis Cabrera, which I did not like, by the way. Can I just say I'm a positive guy. I don't like pushing and shoving. Okay, that was. I think he
acknowledged. I think what I like too is he took accountability for that and was kind of like I was kind of a jerk there. So I appreciate that out of somebody.
Yeah, but still. So, but Bo Bichette may have hurt his neck in that. So Clement steps in and fills in admirably defensively, which was nice to see. Charlie pointed that out to me, and I thought that was a great point. I have been really impressed with Turner so far. If he had like a 4 for 4 or 4 for 5 night one of these days this past week. So. Big Red, they call him.
Well, I'm telling you, it's been the facial hair that has been setting apart the players. Although I didn't realize that Vladdy had put together such an impressive flow on the front and the back right now. So Vladdy's got the beard, but he's not pulling it off. I think I want to see Bo with some bad mustache because Bo's mustache would be bad, and so I would like to see him rock it.
Don Mattingly shaved his beard after the no-hitter, and I just kept thinking, no, Don, you look great.
You got to have facial hair, man. Like Don Mattingly is a facial hair
This is guy. Not the Yankees. This is not the Yankees. The facial hair is welcome. Bring it back, Don.
Honestly, man, like I don't know what it is about Toronto and mustaches, but you've got our boy Romano, you've got our man Schneider,
Davis.
You got Davis, yeah, but I'm sorry, you got Davis, Schneider, and you've got but also, I mean, the biggest sports star in Toronto, in Austin, is Matthews is rocking that horrible mustache for a long time now too. Like, no disrespect. Okay, that was disrespect, but yeah, man, I think we got to have. I would like to see the Jays if they do struggle this year. I would at least like to see them all grow mustaches so that I can continue to enjoy at least that aspect of the play.
So you're looking for a range of mustache. You're looking for thickness, different styles, waxes.
I think Jordan Romano would look really good with the wax. I just think he's got that
fingers.
Style. Yeah, the rolly fingers. I think Romano would rock that. I'm not sure Bassett. Like Bassett's got like a very clean cut guy type of thing. But I think we could get Kikuchi rocking one. I think that would be an excellent look as well. Gosman, I think needs the big bushy Jack Morris one, Like what I wish I could do right now is get some AI rocking here, maybe for the next episode, and we'll just like fire up Jays with big mustaches
Jays with
and see what we
mustaches.
would like. Yeah.
I think that I'm actually now interested in you putting some time into that. I think that's a well worth investment of your free time.
I just think we get more fans all around the world, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
that team with the crazy mustaches. Let's do
Yep,
it. We
I
can
agree.
be
I thought you meant
we can be the
I think
world's
our
team.
show would get more fans because we did the mustache work.
Oh man, you know what? I shouldn't talk like that because at some point someone's gonna force us to do it just to be like let's. And I am under pretty strict orders not to get rid of this beard. So
No
I
one
don't
wants
think
to see either of us without our beards. These beards are a protection. They're a shield. They keep us safe.
my man.
Um,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say we've got 3 in New York against and you tell me, Drew, is Marcus Stroman a forever J, or is he, Darth Vader? Is he the son who left the Jedi Force and has gone to the dark side? Is Marcus an enemy or is he a friend?
I will always have a special place in my heart for Marcus Stroman. I like the guy's got what? He's still got the Toronto skyline tattooed on him. I don't think he wanted to leave. And I think that there's a difference between the Vince Carters of the world who clearly want out of Toronto and don't hide it, and those who, give everything they've got to Toronto while they're here, and then for whatever reason, the organization didn't want. I don't understand why the organization wasn't more interested in Stroman. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, I'm sure. He strikes me as a guy who's opinionated and might, ruffle some feathers. But man, like, why would I not like Marcus Stroman? What's one thing he didn't do for the Jays? Like, the man brought it every single time. He loved the Jays. He wore number 6. He got tattooed. For me, it's not Darth Vader. For me, or Darth Vader at the end when he comes back. But I do hope he gets lit up tonight. Don't get me wrong. Or maybe he goes 5 solid innings, or today 5 solid innings, and then the bullpen gets lit up. That would work too as well. But I don't know what about you, man? I really like Marcus Stroman. I think he's exactly what you need at the back of a back of an order or back of a rotation. And I don't really understand why the Jays didn't feel the same way, because he was young. I thought he was dynamite, but I love seeing him come back, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Well, here's where I'm going to be a little inconsistent. You might find a little spot to poke a hole in the entire Andrew Sorley veneer. The thing is on one hand, I love it when guys like Vladdy are having fun. Bring on the ice bucket dumps at the end of the game. Don't care that Hazel gets splashed. It's not abusing a journalist. It's fun. Love it. On this side, we got Marcus. Now, Marcus, at times, was a cheerleader for us, but then, their breakup, the Jays breakup, was pretty messy. It was a mean breakup, I felt. And I was kind of on okay, good riddance. See you later, man. I was on the team, take your things and go. And I don't think I don't think he was too upset to leave Toronto at the end. I think he fought like heck, like HECK, Drew. Pardon my language. I think he fought while he was a J to be excellent. He had that knee injury, fought through it, went and got his education at Duke on the injured list. I mean, that's just admirable. He's a hardworking guy. No one will ever question his effort. I remember I've deleted my Twitter accounts. That's another story. But I remember tweeting that height doesn't measure heart, but it certainly measures ERA. It was a zinger. But the guy's impressive, man. I mean, starting and growing a brand like Height Doesn't Measure Heart is pretty cool. I know for a fact that Marcus does all kinds of charitable giving. Love that. So it's hard not to be a fan of the guy. Ups and downs, right? Like, I mean, was he the MVP of the World Baseball Classic, or what? He certainly did something good in the World Baseball Classic.
That I couldn't honestly tell you. I hate
have to look it up.
But the World Baseball Classic is not something I've ever watched, and I should. I know I should. I mean, like, look at it this year with that final at bat. It doesn't get much better. So once
The
again,
most
Ohtani.
recent World Baseball Classic was fantastic baseball.
Yeah.
But anyway, Marcus for me, you know, tip our cap. But yeah, I hope the Jays jump on him. I hope the Jays jump on New York. They're sitting at 5-1 right now, but they lost another pitcher today. Jonathan, I don't know how to say his last name, but Lasiaga.
Oh, John Loizaga.
Yeah, thank you. He's gone 60-day DL or IL. Pardon me. Same with Garrett Cole. They're starting pitching, or slash their pitchers in general. We're seeing a lot of injuries right across baseball, frankly. But does it seem like there's more injuries this year, or is it just me?
It seems like that's a conversation we have every year at the beginning of the year. Like all across it is, there's all these injuries. I think it's just the nature. Like how many pitchers throw 100 miles an hour now? And it's max effort, but also it's just the human body isn't meant to do that. And I think that what's happened is that the training has, like, you're talking, Jack Morris threw all of these, but Jack Morris, like, probably didn't pound his body to put it into the best shape possible. And I think what happens is you pound your bodies to get into the best shape possible, which is much more so than used to happen in the 80s and 90s. And that means that your top performance is higher. But I think that the constant stress on people's bodies, not just of the games, but then hitting the weight room and doing all of the extra stretching, which helps you perform at your best when you're healthy. But I also think that it breaks down your body too. And I think that you've got your Tom Brady's, of course, who it works great for. But I also think that the fact is that the heavier training that allows you to throw harder, that allows you to run faster, also takes its toll on your body as well. And so I think that the fact that people are able to push their bodies to new heights also means that those heights will be filled with more valleys. And I think that might be it. To me, the Jays, if they can keep their pitching healthy, but this is true of every team, that is an advantage, because not only is their pitching good, but then they actually get it out there. And the Jays have done a really good job setting themselves up with a set of pitchers that pitch a lot. Right? Barrios pitches constantly. Bassett pitches constantly. Now, the problem is, how many years in a row can you do that before you go off the cliff and now you're hurt all the time? So honestly, my friend, you go into New York. I think New York's problem is not going to be hitting. It never is. New York's problem is going to be its pitching. And I think between the injuries and the fact that
really good job setting themselves up, the New York's problem.
Sorry, that was my fault.
No, that's okay. I honestly think that, my friend, they're not going to be able to be sustainable with that weak of starting pitching. And I think they'll pull a few out because Judge and Soto are just unbelievable talents. But I just don't think if with starting pitching you can make it. And I mean, the Jays have managed to only be 3-4 because their starting pitching held them in it. And we haven't talked about this yet. Their relief pitching, with missing probably the biggest guns in that bullpen, was dynamite. Like, people were getting out of bases loaded, 2 men on. Like, they really were good. The fact that the Jays weren't hitting overshadowed that. But the fact they were even in it for Snyder to hit that home run, the fact that the games, in some cases could have been way out of, like Bassett's game could have been way out of control very early. And so I think that there's been good things that we've seen, and that's a bullpen that doesn't have a ton of depth right now. But I mean, over the last couple of years, they've always been hot out of the gate. It's just a question of whether they can sustain it in the second half.
Well, and don't forget, I don't think you have, Drew, but for anyone sort of tuning in, Houston's supposed to have one of the best bullpens in the game. Tampa Bay Rays are supposed to have one of the best bullpens in the game. We've done okay against both those guys, including that walk-off homer by Schneider against Josh Hader. I don't know if it was Hazel May or someone interviewed Schneider after the game saying, how'd you do that? And he was like, I don't know why he threw me a fastball, dude. Like that felt so like
I loved his interview.
Like talking to a buddy. Yeah, like
he was just sort of like, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Like, I figured he'd throw me a high fastball because I can't hit. I love that he's kind of like, I can't hit high fastballs. Like, dude, like, he knows that everyone already knows it. And I just loved something about him being like, yeah, my kryptonite's pretty much high fastballs, and why he didn't throw me one is beyond me. And that Hader's probably being like, yeah, that's probably a good point. I loved his
Yeah.
interview. I thought it was so different than I generally seen before. I meant to talk to you about that. I just thought he was so real.
Oh man, I love that stuff. You know, the players go through these sessions and they're trained on how to talk, and you end up just getting bleh. But Davis was so interesting, right? And um, there's been a couple of Jays over the years. I need to actually go back and remember some of the names, but there's been guys who weren't necessarily stars, but they would give really, really funny interviews or really good ones. Um, maybe your memory's better than mine today, but there was a relief pitcher that we had. Um, actually, there's two guys I'm thinking of.
You thinking of
Yeah, Biagini was the first one. Thank you. And the other one had the big chops. You remember the guy with the big chops, and he was always wearing like plaid or corduroy on his off days. He was always dressing like he was from the '70s. But Biagini is the perfect one. Thanks for remembering.
He said he just closes his eyes and thinks of his cat. I actually created a Twitter feed called Joe Biagini's Cat, where he's just like, they were asking him, he's like, I just stay calm, man. I just close my eyes and think of my cat. Another guy who was part of a no-hitter, right? Him and two Jays went over to Houston and were part of that group no-hitter, Biagini and remember Aaron Sanchez?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Love Aaron Sanchez.
Aaron Sanchez. Like,
want that guy to...
Oh,
yeah, who knows with
remember
him.
the Jays had Aaron Sanchez and oh my God, I'm blanking on. I think I've like pushed him out of my memory because it was so sad. Our closer, Osuna, right? And it was remember then they had these 20-year-old, 22-year-olds, and you're like, these guys are going to be around for a long time, and things just don't work out like you expect. But like there we go with the facial hair again. Maybe the mutton chops and the mustache is like the old school barber look is what the Jays have to go with. I personally think that Vladdy would look dynamite like that.
You can choose some of those facial hair options in the show, which I know you've been getting right into. Again, we're not sponsored. Would be okay being sponsored. How's
MLB
your
the show?
game?
Yeah, for sure.
How's your show game been this week?
You know what? My show game, I've not been playing as much as I'd like. I am behind in the season series with my buddy Adam. We play pretty much every night. And we have a replica belt of the Brooklyn Nine-Nine championship cummerbund that says Champions of Baseballs, outstanding baseballer / genius. And
that's amazing.
So I've fallen a little behind. I'm actually thinking of twitching. That's so weird. Of actually doing some Twitch and broadcasting because I really enjoyed sort of being online and interacting with people, like doing things like this. Yeah. By the way, we are live if anyone had any questions or comments. But you know what? I can hit easier in the new version. So I'm excited about that. I seem to have a 230 average now online as opposed to a 180. So, they maybe tweaked something and made it a little easier for us to hit. And my road to the show player, Tuggles McGraw, because I feel that we need to bring back excellent nicknames like Oil Can and like the Fishmonger. And I just thought Tuggles McGraw is an old school name. And I would, last year it was Noodles Boof. And I think Noodles is an excellent one as well. So I think we don't have as many. I think Babe Schneider is excellent. Thank you, Brandon Belt. Speaking of guys who gave great interviews. So yeah, my game is strong, but I just play the Jays off on the side and play some baseball. It's when I'm happiest. And it's been so great to have the Jays back this week.
Well, speaking of the Jays being back, so we've got first pitch in approximately 10 minutes from the Bronx. Are you going to be tuning in today, or are you going to watch it on replay?
I'm going to tune in for the first part today. I got a couple meetings in the afternoon, which was completely my bad. I should not have done that. I forgot that it was an afternoon game. I'm not going to lie. Fridays are not usually afternoon games. So I'm excited, man. I think that the day off is going to be good for them. I hope that what happens is they come out and chill out a little, as opposed to, I think they're gripping the bats pretty tight. And I think that when we as fans and media start talking about it as if it's, a problem that is going to wreck the whole season, I think we're just going to make the team grip the bats harder, because I think how the fans react influence how the team behaves. So my hope is I'm just going to keep looking at it and saying, 3 big games from the Jays in New York, and nobody cares. Like, imagine that, man. They'll come out 6-4 if they can sweep this series with the Yankees. And I just have this weird feeling it's going to be great. And then maybe I'll be back next week and you'll be like, you were very, very wrong. But I feel good.
From my perspective, I think a tailor in Toronto needs to break down the front doors of the Rogers Center with a new home run jacket, and they need to make it a sponsorship thing so that the tailor gets some business out of it. We need a new home run jacket. Bring it back. I want to see the pitchers. I want to see the pitchers get in the home run jacket when they have a big strikeout.
That'd be kind of cool, eh?
Let's loosen things up a little, Drew. Let's have some fun this season.
Man,
And
I gotta say this though, the jerseys do suck, eh? Like I was just thinking that the other day. Like this is a nice jersey, and it's got like nice numbers and stuff on the back. I was just watching Barrios. I'm like these thin little blue
the new
letters,
ones.
man. It was it's just awful. Anyway, sorry, that wasn't a positive thing to close on, but that's one thing I'm not loving about the Jays this year is I just don't think I'm waiting to see the white jerseys because the white are the mint ones to me.
Yeah,
but if they've just looking back, like if they look bad, come on, guys, let's get our act together. Or the Canada Day jerseys, I'm horrified what they're going to look like.
Well, and don't forget we've got City Connect jerseys for the Jays this year too.
Have you ever seen a good City Connect jersey?
I have. The Baltimore Orioles City Connect jersey is perfect. Actually, the Cincinnati Reds one's pretty darn close. I like a black jersey. We haven't had one in Toronto in at least 10 years.
Since the Trish Stratus, I call them the Trish Stratus ones because she's the one who unveiled them.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. No, I mean, it doesn't make sense for the Blue Jays to have a black jersey, but no, I think there's a few City Connects that were pretty great. There's some that were decent. There's some that are plain awful. The Padres, you're never going to convince me that that's a good-looking jersey. You know who else? Actually, Seattle Mariners have a good City Connect. They just released
jerseys. Period, man. I love everything Seattle does. That like their logos are awesome. The Kraken, the Mariners, even the Seahawks, which are crazy sometimes. But
the Philadelphia Phillies just released their City Connects today, and they're not great. In fact, I made the joke. That they look like Mariners jerseys because they use this sort of turquoise and yellow, gold sort of thing. Look at whatever we get, but it's a roll of the dice because so I'm gonna say Drew half of those. Half of the City Connects, like the Diamondbacks, they had that Serpentinos, whatever it is. And I probably mispronounced that, but that was an interesting one. The Angels had that sort of surfing one. The Dodgers didn't look like an alternate jersey. It just looked like a spring training jersey. It was just blue with Dodgers across, or Los Angeles across the front, whatever it was. It didn't seem like a City Connect. So we'll see. We'll see what we get.
I'm hoping it's awesome. Like, the part of it too is just that, like, I bought every jersey the Jays had, and so I realize I'm getting suckered. Like when they do the baby blues, it's so more people go buy the baby blues. Every time you change the jersey, it's so you can sell more jerseys. So it's why I couldn't believe that a lot of these teams who wouldn't change their team names, the Guardians and the Washington Football Club or the Commanders or whatever, I'm like, you got a mint you're going to make, right? And then you can sell the retro jerseys as well, right? Like Coke Classic came out after New Coke and like sold more than when it was just Coke. So I'm hoping they're awesome. They could be. It's hard to say. I liked it when they had the players design their own stuff. Remember when Manoah designed his own like god awful shirt? But
I have one.
Oh,
it's not great,
really?
But I have one.
Oh,
I
man,
have
that's
Manoah
awesome.
T-shirt. I could probably show you, but anyway.
My
Drew,
friend, we gotta go. It's time.
We gotta go. Yep.
It's
nice
opening
to speak
day.
to you. And let's see 2 out of 3 out of the Bronx. What are you saying for the Jays?
I think it's going to be 2 out of 3. I think the Gosman's going to pitch great. And I have a feeling that I think Kikuchi is going to be the one that struggles, believe it or not. And I think that Francis is going to have a really nice bounce back on Sunday. And I think Vladdy's going to hit 2 home runs this weekend. So we'll see.
Here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Kikuchi kills it today and goes 7. Kikuchi goes 7 with 6 strikeouts, a lot of ground balls. I'm going to say Marcus goes 4 2/3, doesn't get out of the 5th. I think we win 5-2 today.
We will see how it goes, man. I'll keep that in mind when we do our post-game artificial intelligence video. It'll just be a shot of you going, if you're right. So, although I'm not sure if I'm
raw material. Here's the raw material.
I love
and then
it.
if I'm wrong, this is if I'm wrong. There, now you got
I'll see if I can figure out how to pull that out. All right, my friend. Opening day in the Bronx. First pitch. This has been Drew J's Talk. We will see you next week, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Let's
Like
hear
and
the song.
subscribe.
Let's hear the song. Give
Oh,
us
the song?
Drew.
Okay. Wait a second, my friend.
I know you were just
You got to
getting ready
open up the
close.
proper. Here we go.
And we can sing our loyal fan out. We have one person.
Oh, that's the Littlest Hobo theme song. This is right now. We're getting kicked off Facebook. I guarantee.
Yeah,
like they're just like. No. Okay, here we go.
Goodbye, everyone.
Oh man, it's great talking to you. I'll talk to you after.
See you, Drew.
Peace, my friends.
Bye.